Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. This is for StarCraft 2 Strategy, your #1 location for step-by-step strategy and tutorial videos. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Zerg strategy. This is going to be Speedling Roach early aggression. Basically, it's going to be a Zerg versus Protoss strategy. What it's going to entail is getting out a handful of Speedlings and then kind of pumping out a large force of Roaches, pushing into our Protoss opponent's base really early, and trying to basically hit them and catch them off guard before they get into the full swing of things. Basically, we're going to be trying to get to them before they get their warp gate research up, before they get a bunch of gateways, and before they get into that position where they can just start massing up units. It's kind of an all-in strategy. We're basically trying to push forward with everything we got and trying to do as much damage as possible and take them out early in the game. So again, this is going to be a Zerg versus Protoss strategy. The replay we're taking a look at is between the players Joe Webb as our Zerg player and the Protoss player is Xavier. Starting off with that pretty basic build order, just pumping out drones for the meantime. Then going to be coming out with that Overlord at 10 supply, creating additional drones. Once we get to our 14 supply, that's when we're going to actually go ahead and create our spawning pool, and we're going to follow that up with an Extractor. Now, as you can see here, the Protoss player is getting a full scout of our base. He sees the pretty basic stuff, nothing too fancy going on. He's not seeing an Extractor or a spawning pool. So with that super early scout, he's not really getting too much information. It's not going to be until we start dropping build-ins that he's going to be in a good position. Now taking a look here at the Protoss player's base, what we're seeing is we saw that 9 pylon followed by that 12 gateway. Pretty standard in terms of openings. It's not until after this point where we can really tell what's going on and what he's going for. Let me just pull up this production tab here, make sure we don't miss anything. So there we go, spawning pool did just go down at 14 supply, and it was followed up with that Extractor. Now we have an assimilator and a second pylon. This does tell us a few things here if we were to move into the base at this point, which we are finally coming in with the scout. It tells us that he's not likely to be going straight for like a 2-gate kind of push, because he is spending money on that assimilator, so he does obviously intend on getting Vespene. But we really still, even with that information, we're not fully aware of what's going on, because he does have the option of just holding off that cybernetics core and instead getting a second gateway and actually going through with a 2-gate push. So this could be a little deceiving, and what you typically want to do in this situation, if you're just seeing one gateway and an assimilator, is you want to wait until you see what the next structure being dropped is. You want to wait to see if it's going to be another gateway or if it's going to be a cybernetics core, because that's really going to tell you what to expect. So taking a look back here at our base, getting back into things, of course I said we're going for that Speedling and Roach build, so we are dropping our Roach Warren here. Took that down at 18 supplies when we went for that. Getting a second Overlord, get out of that supply cap that we're in, and then here we go, our Queen's finally coming up. We started building that Queen, I'm sorry I didn't mention that, a Queen production started at 16. That's typically when you're going to be doing it, 15 or 16 supplies when the Queen's coming out. I think it's almost always 16 though. I think that's pretty much the standard thing. You get drones up until 16, you make your Queen, that puts you at 18 out of 18, and then you make an Overlord. So that Roach Warren's going to be coming up right now. We do have these Zerglings out on the board, and we are researching the Speedlings. So we're going to be moving out with the Zerglings here, and trying to basically contain our opponents, see what they're doing, see if they're trying to push out on us. Taking another look back in the Protoss player's base, we do see that second gateway, and we see a cybernetics core warping in right now as well. So again, we're not going to be able to push in quite at this point because of those Zealots sitting at the front of the base, but we are able to control the center of the map and get good vision as to what's going on. Roaches coming out right now. As soon as that Roach Warren popped up, that's when we went ahead and started our Roach production. Now, people may be wondering why we're investing so many resources into getting this Metabolic Boost when we're not really going for a ton of Zerglings. Well, even with just a handful of Zerglings, that Metabolic Boost is going to be very beneficial. It's going to allow you to micro them more properly. Again, we're kind of going for a full-on push here, trying to take them out really early. So micro is really important in any kind of full-on push, like be it a Reaper Rush, or going for an early game like Marauder Marine push versus Protoss. Micro is very important. So anything that you can do that's going to help enable you to have better micro is going to help be beneficial. So getting those Zerglings, that speed upgrade, being able to micro them away from any units is going to be very help your push. Like as you can see here, for an example, we were moving up with those Lings, but we pulled them back just in time before the Zealots engaged. And that's exactly the kind of thing you want to do. Try to keep those Zerglings alive as long as possible. Now I'm going to be moving them forward to the Stalkers, pushing forward with our Roaches. We're still supporting and backing up our units by rallying the hatchery to their base, pushing forward with these pushing forward with these roaches. Again, the stalkers are faster than them, so they are able to kind of kite them around. It's not until you get some more speedlings in the base that you're going to be able to really get a surround on them and take them out. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. We're going to be mopping up his units here. Then we're going to follow suit by taking out his pylons, stop any more production. You want to take out the pylons that are, basically you want to start off by taking the pylons that are powering the gateways, and then you can move on from there. Go to the mineral line, take out the tech like the cybernetics core. But at this point, obviously, he doesn't even have anything out. He's trying to produce some more zealots, but even if those zealots came out, they're not going to be doing too much. And the Protoss player goes ahead and calls a good game. So taking a look here back at the build order, what we're seeing is we're starting off with that 14 spawning pool, followed by the extractor, saturating that extractor once it comes up. And then we're also going to be dropping that Roach Warren at about 18 supply. Make sure you get your queen up for that spawn larva ability. And with a handful of Zerglings, we're going to try to use that to contain our Protoss opponent, also to scout if they're going to be pushing out on us early on, and maybe try to poke into their base and see what we can see. And then once you get about 6 to 8 roaches and you have a handful of Speedlings, go ahead and push into their base, see how much damage you can do. If you're able to break through the front and you're able to get inside their base, make sure you keep producing additional units to support. More Speedlings to get a surround on any Stalkers you may be seeing, but if you're seeing a lot of Zealots and not a lot of Stalkers, then go ahead and produce some more Roaches, since Roaches are so strong versus Zealots. So again, guys, this has been for StarCraft 2 Strategy, your #1 location for step-by-step strategy and tutorial videos. If you guys do like our videos and you like what we're doing here, please subscribe to our channel. Keep watching and keep owning, guys.